Hi guys, so today we're gonna talk about the HUH event for Summoners War, and I know that everybody is really excited for this event. Now, the usual question for summoners like you and me is which monster would be the best choice, because out of 5 available monsters you can only pick one. So we're going to review each monster available in the HUH event per set, and I will give my opinion as to whether they are good or bad at the moment. So the first monster is the Fire Jack-o'-lantern, Smokey. To be honest, there's nothing really that good about the Fire Jack-o'-lantern because there are other monsters that will outshine him when debuffing enemy units. But if you are always using the water version, Chilling, and you need skill ups for the Chilling unit, you can choose Smokey for fully skilling up your Chilling. So the next unit is the Water Anubis, Avarice. So actually Avarice is a pretty good unit when you were trying to counter units that capitalizes on reviving. The perfect example would be Perna. And in addition, if you compare Avarice to units like Raki needs to use her third skill to disable the reviving. Unlike Avarice, his third skill is passive, so whenever he tries to kill a unit, it will no longer be revived. Now, if you don't want Avarice to be your fighting unit against Perna, you can use him in other purposes. One is to use him as a skill up for his other counterparts, element counterparts such as Somarna, which is for me a hidden nut 5 because he is very versatile and very strong. And for Kimun also, and two other element counterparts because other counterparts are really strong for the Anubis family. Now here is another good unit, MSCT, in Guild War and Siege War. Uh, MSCT is really good provided that you have the right units that go with him, specifically the Copper Bulldozer team. Because the combo is MSCT will use his third skill to boost either Bulldozer or Copper to get their turn immediately and will definitely one-shot enemies if they have the right stats. Now, other than that, you can use or choose the MSCT HOH if you have the light and dark counterparts because those units are very OP. If you want to see a sample action of the MSCT combo, I will leave a link under the description area to show you the Copper Bulldozer team. So the next unit is the Light Puree, Eva. So actually, I don't have this unit at the moment. What I have is the Fire, Wind, and Water. But as you can see, Eva is very useful in Siege War, Guild War, and Necropolis because of her offensive skills such as multi-hitting skills. What I'm going to do is choose her and hopefully build one and use the extra copies to skill up my fire unit, the Fire Puree. Because this monster family really uses a lot of its own units to fully max up one monster. So the next unit is the Dark Raksasa, red. So this is a very good unit for Guild War and Siege War offense because the second skill and the third skill is usually focused on attack bar manipulation. Aside from that, you can use her to skill up the good counterparts like the fire and the wind. I have the fire and the wind. They're very good in Guild War and Siege War, especially the fire one. So the bottom line for me is either you pick the Light Puree, Eva, or the Dark Rakshasa, Ran, because they're light and dark obviously. And we know that getting rare light and dark monsters is very hard because we get limited light and dark scrolls every month. It's either you get them from Toa or the guild shop. So yeah, I suggest picking Eva or Ran. The next would be either picking Imensity or Avarice. Imensity for your Copper Bulldozer team and Avarice for counter-picking reviving units such as Perna. So in the next batch of HUH event, we have the Fire Samurai or Jun. They used to be good because of the fourth skill. They were the first monsters that had fourth skill, the sword of the Supreme Skywolf. But other than that, they're not really good at the moment. Perhaps the light and dark unit, you can use those. So if you have a dark and light samurai, you can choose June for skill ups. But other than that, I guess you have to skip over and try to look at the other choices. And now we have the Wind Pirate Captain, Bart. It's a very strong wind unit because of his third skill. It hits pretty hard actually. So you can use him most likely in Siege War or Guild War. And aside from that, you can use him as a skill up to your Galleon, the Water Pirate Captain, and the Dark Pirate Captain frigate. Now we have the Water Joker, Shan. Now the only thing that I could think for Shan is actually for Lucian, because now you can finally maximize the skills of your Lucian or the Dark Joker if you have the Dark Joker. And now we have the Light Brownie Magician, Gemini. It's a pretty good unit and a strong one too because it gives defense break and strips enemy units of beneficial effects, provided that it has less beneficial effects from the moment of attacking. Now I usually encounter Gemini in Guild Wars or Siege Wars, and it's a very good leader because of its speed boost leader of 19%. It's a very good combination with your damage dealers because when Gemini takes his first turn, it removes a beneficial effect and then gives defense break, which will help your damage dealers give more damage and usually ends up in a one-shot kill. So now we have the Dark Cobalt Bomber, Bearing, an offensive unit. I don't encounter Bearing a lot in the game, maybe because it's very rare, coming from a Light and Darkness scroll. I prefer personally more the water unit, Malaka, because I think it has the highest stat out of the 5 elements. And of his second skill, a good combination with Ciara. It sets bombs and it ignores defense. So practically, I prefer Malaka more. So these are the 5 monsters on the second session of the HOH event. We have the Fire Samurai, June, the Water Joker, Shan, the Wind Pirate Captain, Bark, the Light Brownie Magician, Gemini, and the Dark Cobalt Bomber, Bearing. Now, out of the 5, for me personally, I'd recommend choosing the Light Brownie Magician, Gemini, because of its versatility in stripping beneficial effects and giving defense break. Now, if you already have a Light Brownie Magician, Gemini, I suggest picking the Dark Cobalt Bomber, Bearing, because naturally it's harder to get from Light and Darkness Scroll because it's a 4-star. And you can't get it from Mystical Scrolls or Legendary Scrolls, just only from Light and Darkness Scroll. Now, if you both have Gemini and Bearing, I suggest picking Shan, because Shan can be used to fully maximize the skills of your Lucian, and Lucian is really needed for your speed runs on the Kairos dungeons. So for the first session of the HOH event, I would suggest choosing the Light Pirate, Eva, and then the next one would be the Dark Raksasa, Ryan, because they're light and dark monsters and very rare. If you have both the units, I would suggest picking Amesity because I think that every summoner should have a basic Copper Bulldozer team. Now, for the next HOH event on June, I would suggest choosing the Light Brownie Magician, Gemini. Next will be the Dark Cobalt Bomber, Bearing, of the same reasons, because they're light and dark monsters, they're very rare. Now, if you already have the Light Brownie Magician or the Dark Cobalt Bomber, Bearing, I suggest choosing the Water Joker or the Wind Pirate Captain, Bart, if you don't have a fully max skilled Lucian or Galleon or Frigate, the Dark Pirate Captain. Now, some final tips. I always suggest to players that they should always get at least one copy of each monster because we never know if they're gonna get buff in the future and get OP. So it's a safe play to always keep one copy of each element. Now, if you liked the video and it helped you in choosing your HOH monster, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for the latest videos.